So let's talk about blockchain. Everybody is interested in blockchain today. So what do financial contracts have to do with blockchain? And I tell you, a lot. They have to do a lot. So first of all, what is a blockchain? So a blockchain as such is a general ledger statement, debit, credit. So let's say you have $100, I have $50, and I owe you $10. So we take $10 away from me and we give it to you. That's typically what happens also in the bank. So the bank will duly register how much money goes from one account to another. So blockchain is doing that as well. So first of all, it has a lot of accounts or wallets. Probably you know the term wallet. So there are many wallets. So each one has a wallet. Each wallet has a certain amount. And then you can send money from one wallet to the other. In addition, a blockchain tests whether you have enough. For example, if I have $50, you have 100, and I have to send you 60. So the blockchain will check and say, how much do I have? How much do I have to send? I have to send 60, I have 50. Okay, the deal will not go through. So that's the basic of a blockchain. And what then means the block? It's because each transaction changes then the state, and then we get a new state. And each such state we call a block. And going from one block to the other is a chain. They are all linked. And blockchain has some additional feature which are not so much finance linked, so that part was really linked to finance. But they remember all the transaction forever here. So everything will be remembered. I don't know for how many years, they tell me forever. And it is meant to be very secure. So it should not be possible to cheat. Although you might have heard about there were cases of cheating just by using the blockchain. So we have to take that a little bit carefully. But by concept, it is secure, it is private, and it remembers forever. And basically, it moves money from A to B, or in a more global sense, it moves something from A to B. We could also exchange apples, for example. But another good example for a blockchain is really the registry of land. You know, we have many problems, like, for example, here in India, there were a lot of quarrels. You know, the land has been exchanged, but the documents are not clear anymore. With a blockchain, that would not happen, because everything is registered and remembered forever. And I think there are movements here to move those registries to the blockchain. Now coming back to the financial world, so it moves basically, you have one wallet here, you have another wallet here, it moves money, let's say X dollars, from wallet A to wallet B. This is typically what the financial transaction is, the exchange of money. Okay, now this itself, because it can be programmed and remembered, and then it is like self-executing. This itself is considered to be a smart contract, because a smart contract knows what to do and does it automatically. Okay, so it is considered a smart contract. So now the next step. What is a smart financial contract? We already talked about the financial contract before. And its specific feature of the financial contract was its inherent mathematical nature. So it's something that can be computer executed. So once you have given the initial data and the algorithms which belong to it are known, all payments are known. What we look at here, this is a single payment. So if we compare again to a financial contract, let's take that contract, the simple PAM, which we had. And then we had some interest payment here. Okay? So each of these arrows is a payment. And it could be executed from A to B. But now they are connected. We remember they are connected by algorithms. So a financial contract is a series of exchanges of cash flows, where a blockchain can treat single exchanges of cash flows. That is what a blockchain is doing here. So, but since this can be fully automated, so we can talk now, if that is a smart contract, if that term is reserved for that, we can do that if you like. So if we call this a smart contract, so then we call the combination of this, we can call smart financial contract. So, okay. So it's a smart financial contract. So we can program this. Then the code will know, okay, here a payment has to go. It has to go somehow to an instruction here. Then the payment will happen. Then days will pass by. Another payment will happen. This can be again go to the blockchain here. And this payment can go to the blockchain, and all the payments can go to the blockchain here. So that is also the relationship between the smart financial contract and the blockchain. The question for many is, can we put the entire contract on the blockchain? So that we would have no outside world. Once the contract is on the blockchain, it will execute itself, it will demand payment from me or to you, whatever the contract says, and it will execute it over time. Now, this is at this point in time not possible. Because a financial contract is too complex, it has a lot of rhythms, calculations, etc. And the languages on the blockchain, like Ethereum, etc., they could not handle this contract. Not today. So that is a problem. So that's why we talk about being on and off chain. So the general architecture is here having, let's say, the blockchain. Outside here, API, which generates all those cash flows, and it communicates here with the blockchain in a safe way. And what could be added here, what is also considered to have an oracle here. The oracle would make sure that nobody would interact in between this here. So, that nobody could interrupt the payment or change that. So that is basically what is feasible today. Maybe one day the contract itself can be put on the blockchain, so then it would reside only on the blockchain alone. Today, if you have the same contract, let's say I have a contract with you, then I have to remember the contract, and you have to remember the contract. You calculate, I calculate. We should get the same calculation. We don't get it exactly, but anyway, the difference we can split. But the main thing is we both would have to remember that. If there's a blockchain, then the contract is there, and it will tell you what is your piece, and the other way. So we tell, I send money to you, you send money to me, how much, etc. So it is one view. So that would be the difference. There is a lot of other difference once we have truly a smart financial contract on it, but about this I talk another time. What is very important here when we talk about a smart financial contract is the fact that we need a standard. We already have in banks today a big problem because each system is slightly different of the other system. Let's say you and me, we do a deal. You are a bank and I am a bank. So I put the deal in my system. You put it in your system. The only difference should be that what is a payment for you should be a receipt for me. And the payment from me should go. So only the sign should flip. Our two calculations should be the same. But they are never the same. The differences today are small, so that banks basically split the difference because the systems calculate slightly different. It's a nuisance. It's a nuisance. But now, if we would now add these contracts to the blockchain, and we would now not define a standard how we exchange, and everybody would program his own little contract, world will get crazy. We must remember the banks who do that, they have all the specialists and they try to do the same thing. They can't. Even within a single bank, you might have two systems which are different. So now, if everybody is going to program its own contract, it would become crazy. And it would become fully ununderstandable, the whole world. So in order to be successful, the blockchain and fintech, a standard is needed. And we represent this standard via Actus. So Actus stands for Algorithmic Contract Type Unified Standard. So it's a standard, but it does not only standardize the data, but the algorithm as well, which makes sure that your intention is equal my intention because the intention is written in the algorithm. So that's a very important feature for the smart financial contract to be successful.